Hello everyone, Mindless Autumn here, and today I am talking about future planning in your bullet journal. If you look at bulletjournal.com or read the book by writer Carol, The Bullet Journal Method, which I will leave links to in the description box down below. The way writer Carol does it is called a horizontal spread, and that looks something like this. You put 3 months to a page and just write whatever months pertain at the time. So you write the months for 6 months in the future, and some people will draw a little calendar in here for each month. So they would put the days of the week and all the days of the month so that you have a visual, which helps sometimes. Or you could just do like I've done and put any important things that you want to know about or refer back to when you're planning things that are a month or more from now. So you could put holidays, or you could put birthdays, or both. And you also can use it to plan out meetings or appointments that you have in the future. And then you have everything for the next 6 months on this one section rather than having an entire book full of monthly or weekly calendars that you schedule out ahead of time. The way I personally do it is similar to this, but instead of horizontally, I do it vertically like this. And you do the same thing, 3 months to each page, and then instead of putting the months up and down, you do it across the top. And you could do the same thing if you like that visual and draw out a little calendar for each section. So you could do the same thing where you just write any important information as it comes up, or maybe ahead of time if it's something like a birthday or a holiday that you already know about. Or you could do it the way that I do, which is writing down the number for each day of the month and then the first letter of each day of the week, just so you have an indicator of what day of the week that is when you're actually planning ahead. Sometimes that comes in handy. And also I put a line after each Saturday so that I can visually see where each week starts and stops, and sometimes that helps me plan out ahead of time as well, especially if I'm trying to plan a vacation or something like that. The main reason that I prefer to do it this way is because of the way that I get my schedule at work. And for example, as of the time I'm filming this, it is August, but I've already got some of my work schedule for September, and I'm not ready to draw out my monthly plan for September yet. So rather than do this weeks ahead of time for a month that I'm not ready for yet, I could put my schedule in here and then refer back to this when I need to set this part up. If you're going to do something like this, or you know that you're someone who has a lot of people or a lot of different things to keep track of, you could leave this open to have more room to plan ahead. And then instead of putting holidays and birthdays and things that you already know about in here, you could do something like this and set up a whole page or two just for your birthday and holiday list. You could do that horizontally or vertically and have the same type of layout if you have a lot of people's birthdays and holidays and things to keep track of. Or you could just do something like this and make a list. You could also do something similar for a school calendar. So you know the days when there are no school, or it's an early release day or anything like that. You could also do something like this for scheduling your games if you are someone who does sports or are a parent of someone who does sports. You could have a calendar just for the practice times and game times, and then still have this for actual appointments as they come up. So when you are setting up your current month, you would refer to this for any appointments or meetings or your work schedule like I do. Then you would also refer to whatever of these you have set up so that you have those in here when you need them. If you have a lot going on and or a lot of different people to keep track of, and you just have nowhere near enough room in one of these future planning sections to actually put everything that's going on, there is another way to do that that was developed by someone named Eddie Hope. He calls it the Calendex, and I will leave a link to his website down below as well. And the basic idea of the Calendex is when you're on your current day and something comes up that you know you're going to do in the future, rather than trying to figure out how to fit everything in here, you would put it on here like I did on this one. So for example, I put November 15th, I have a meeting with Bill at a cafe at 2 p.m. You could put whatever it is, a doctor's appointment, a meeting, you were invited to a wedding, anything like that. You just put it on the same page that you're currently on, and then you refer to the page number you're on. In this case, it's 89, and go back in here, find November, or whatever month you're planning for, and put the page number on that day. So November 15th, I put page 89, and then when it comes time for me to set up November, I see I have something going on the 15th. I may not remember what it is, but I know I wrote about it on page 89. I can go back and see, oh, at 2 p.m. I have a meeting. So then when I'm setting this up for November, I can write that in, not have to worry about writing so much into this tiny little space. And this particular book I started in May, so I put May as the first month of my future log. A lot of people would have started with June so that they have this as what they're currently doing, and then they just use this as it's meant to be as a future log. Since I usually set up the next month before it's actually started, I actually put the month that I am starting with on here as well. So I likely set this up sometime towards the end of April, and rather than starting in June, I actually prefer to start in May. I like to have 12 months, even though you can see I'm not really using a lot of it, just because it doesn't take up much space. And if something does come up that's within the next 12 months, I'd rather put it here and know where to find it easily than try and remember to put it in the index, and then also try and remember to check the index when this time comes and I actually need that information. I know this is not super pretty. I did that on purpose. I did use some cute washi tape to add a little bit of color. I wanted to point out that it doesn't have to be super colorful or artistic to be able to work for you. I think sometimes that gets lost in all the pictures on Instagram and Pinterest and all the videos with artists drawing and painting beautiful bullet journals. If you like making it artistic because you want a creative outlet or because it makes it more likely that you're going to use it, then definitely go ahead and do that. But if you just want to use it to organize your life and be more productive, then you really don't have to make it all pretty. And you really don't have to spend a lot of time drawing or making perfect squares or lines or anything like that. You could just use it more like the tool that it was originally intended to be. If you would like a copy of my little cheat sheet that I have made that shows all the different elements that go into a bullet journal, I have made this available as a free printable at mindlessautumn.com, and I will leave a link to that down below. You can get that even without joining my mailing list or anything like that. I wanted to make sure it is available for everyone. Of course, if you would like to, you can join my mailing list, but you don't have to in order to get this. And next week I'm going to be talking about setting up your month in your bullet journal. And I will show you a few different ways to do that. Whether you're someone who feels like you don't have a whole lot going on and your schedule is really predictable, or if you're someone who has a big family, you need to keep track of everybody, or even more than one job that you need to keep track of. I will give you some ideas on how to do all of those things. So stay tuned for next week, and I will see you next time. Bye!